Hello, everybody. Welcome and happy Monday. This is July 3rd. Thanks for joining us. And when you go to see your favorite band in concert and only one of the members shows up and suddenly it's a solo show, that's what you've got today. I am on my own today. Carly is off taking a well-deserved holiday break from her computer. So you've got just me today, and I will be running probably a little quicker than usual through the news, but I want to thank you anyway for joining us. We have in the chat already, bright and early, Henry Tish was in the chat this morning asking when the new land is going to open. Not sure exactly which new land Henry was referring to, so hopefully he'll hop back in and clarify. But as always, in Derek's Corner, we've got Blossom and Michelangelo this time. Hello and welcome. Brian Sager checking in. He's still processing Dial of Destiny. Saw it last night. Not perfect, but definitely better than Crystal Skull. I have to agree with you 100%. Saw it on Thursday with a fairly empty audience. I was surprised that it was not more full. I enjoyed a lot of it. I have issues with a lot of it, but it did not hurt my soul the way Crystal Skull did. So, Wiser saying hello. Thank you so much. And Michael Bingham checking in. I'm sorry you haven't been feeling well, Michael. I'm glad you are taking it easy. I hope everyone is taking it easy. My fellow Americans enjoying your day before Independence Day, maybe taking a long weekend off of work, or just doing what I'm doing right here, pretending to work. Haha. Well, we got more than a dozen people in the chat, and I'm here all on my own. So I think we're going to kick this show off on a count of 3, 2.
Please lower your head and watch your step while boarding.
Welcome to the Attractions Podcast. You are all clear for dispatch. Have fun.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 198 of the Attractions Podcast. You know what? I haven't done this in a while, but since I'm on my own, I'm just going to start that whole thing over a second time, just to spare our editor the pain of trying to fix that. Let's try this again in 3, 2.
Please lower your head and watch your step while boarding.
Welcome to the Attractions Podcast. You are all clear for dispatch. Have fun.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 198 of the Attractions Podcast, sponsored by MEI and Mouse Fan Travel. I am Seth on my own this week. Carly is taking the week off, but I am here to talk to you about the latest and greatest in theme park news and more, as well as what's going on in, I guess, my own life. Seth, how have you been this past week? So well, Seth. Thank you so much for asking. As we were talking just a little in the pre-show, I did get to enjoy a screening of Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Not a perfect movie, but boy, was it better than Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. I also got to stop by Universal Orlando and check out their recently updated walk experience, which is held on Friday and Saturday nights at the Island's Dining Room in the Royal Pacific. And I got to say, I really enjoyed what I saw. They've upgraded the buffet. They now have some dessert options. They have a nice salad bar. Good selection of veggies to choose from, and I especially liked the homemade sauces that they have. You can pick from a sweet and sour, a yellow curry, which was excellent, and I'm sorry, that was a red curry, and a teriyaki that was surprisingly smoky and savory. So if you're at the Royal Pacific Hotel on a Friday and Saturday night, and they now make that vegan compatible, they even have tofu as an option. So I recommend giving that a shot, especially if you're staying at that hotel. All right. Well, without any further ado, let's jump right into the news in the queue. All right. This week, we are going to kick things off with a construction update from Walt Disney World, where work on Tiana's Bayou adventure is well underway, and the tiara topped water tower has now been officially installed. This was installed late at night on June 26th. And we got some pictures of it on the morning of June 27th. Some shots on social media of it being transported along the roads through Florida. But you can now see this new water tower, which is going to be the icon of the ride. The ride's no longer really going to be a mountain; it's much more of a hill. The peak of the former Splash Mountain has been removed, so this is going to kind of be the weenie now for the ride. This ride closed in January of 2023 in Walt Disney World, and just this past May in Disneyland. The new attraction, of course, is scheduled to open in 2024 at both parks. We don't have an official opening date yet, but we do have pictures of the tower and the scaffolding and the retheming work going on for this New Orleans themed attraction. Interesting to note that in the model that we saw, I think we saw this way back in 2021. The model shows a large amount of moss and vegetation growing on the legs of the water tower. If we look at the actual water tower that's been installed in Orlando, it's got a little bit of moss growing on it. Maybe some more will be installed later, or maybe they just decide to pull back on that element. Anyway, if you want more photos and also links to previous stories about the renovation of Splash Mountain into Tiana's Bayou Adventure, check them all out at attractionsmagazine.com. Next up, Stitch, Moana, and SEA are going to rule the summer at Hong Kong Disneyland. Hong Kong Disneyland is wild about summer with new and returning entertainment, specialty treats, and exclusive experiences, which are going to be featuring Stitch, Moana, and everyone's favorite, the Society of Explorers and Adventurers. Um, so Hong Kong's summer offerings are running right now, and they are at least the majority of them are going to be going all the way through September 3rd. And the one thing that ties all of these experiences together seems to be water. There is water spraying at you on pretty much every one of these experiences. We'll start out with the new stage show in Adventureland. It's called Adventure is Out There. It is inspired by Charles's catchphrase in Up, and Ellie and Carl are going to borrow the phrase as their new life mantra. And the show features appearances by Stitch, King Louie, Russell, and Moana. And of course, you may get wet. A recurring theme, like I said. Also in Adventureland, you can get meet and greets with new costumes featuring Mickey, Pluto, Donald, Daisy, Chip and Dale, and Lilo and Stitch are out greeting folks. Around the park over in Mystic Manor, this is something interesting. We don't really have our Streetmosphere back the way it was in Walt Disney World, but in Hong Kong, they have Streetmosphere at Mystic Manor. They've got Reginald Montgomery, who appears to be a street magician who's showing off some magical objects he's procured in his global adventures. He happens to be the great nephew of Lord Henry Mystic, who is the main character of Mystic Manor. And this all ties into the SEA, the Society of Adventurers and Explorers, that has references in Adventurelands all around the world, starting out in Tokyo Disney Sea. This narrative is also referred to in the new musicians that you will find at the Mystic Point Freight Depot. They've got a new string quartet there. And then in a completely different direction, heading over to Toy Story Land, you've got Toy Soldier Boot Camp, which is basically the green soldiers that we're used to doing drumming and follow the leader activities in other parks. Here they are wearing backpack water sprayers and hosing down guests. You've also got a bubble splash party happening over in Fantasyland. And in front of the castle, there is a Follow Your Dreams Castle stage show with what they call enhanced water effects. So basically, they have fountains that spray directly away from the stage onto the audience, so you can enjoy the characters dancing and get soaked at the same time. You're going to see Miguel from Coco, Nick and Judy from Zootopia, as well as Pocahontas, Elsa, and Moana in that. And stick around afterwards for the Pixar Water Play Street Party. That's a mouthful. Which is your standard street parade filled with Pixar characters from Inside Out, Up, and onward, all spraying water at you. If you also want to cool down, there are lots of treats. Familiar faces such as Buzz and Lotso, Woody and Jesse, and Ham are going to be appearing on muffins, as well as Stitch soft serve ice cream, and lots of other adorable treats. June 9th, they brought out for Donald's birthday some items celebrating Donald Duck. And from July 1st through September 30th, they have a special quote unquote semi-buffet dinner that is happening at Walt's Cafe in the Hong Kong Disneyland Hotel. That is only the half of it. There is also merchandise galore, including some cozy fun collection inspired by Turning Red, Sully from Monsters, and Lotso. Duffy and friends get in on the action with a new Styling All Day collection of dresses. And they are still celebrating Elemental, Pixar's newest film, with some new merchandise tied to that. There are special activities, mostly involving water, happening across the resort hotels there. And Disney's Hollywood Hotel is finally reopening at Hong Kong Disneyland, and they've updated their lobby and made over their restaurants. The Archivist serves Spanish tapas amidst decor that celebrates the Marvel characters. I don't know quite what the connection there is, but Ink and Plate is inspired by Disney's ink and paint department and has some fresh, very colorful options. Finally, if you are stuck at Hong Kong Disneyland this summer in need of a charge for your phone, they are now renting charge spot banks in 3 different designs. So I guess fuel rod is not a thing out there. Instead, they use charge bank. Anyway, there are videos and photos, of course, of all of this. And if you want to plan yourself a trip out there, talk to MEI-Travel and Mousefan Travel. SeaWorld is up next, and for the first time ever, the SeaWorld parks are launching Ultimate VIP tours in Orlando, San Diego, and San Antonio. These are way different in a lot of ways than the VIP tours that we see at Disney or Universal, and the pricing is a little different too. So here's the deal. At SeaWorld Orlando, SeaWorld San Diego, and SeaWorld San Antonio, they are going to be offering ultimate VIP tours that are super private tours. These are just for you and your family, your party, and only your party. Typically, at Universal, the basic VIP tours, you are in a group of up to 10 people, and they could be strangers. And you're paying a lot more for a private tour. That is what you're getting here at SeaWorld. Um, in addition to being escorted around the park personally and getting to skip the line at every ride and sitting in a reserved area for every show, here's the big deal: you get to participate in multiple animal encounters throughout the day. They will customize this itinerary to your dream day. You tell them what you are interested in, and they will make it happen. Now, obviously, all the basic VIP perks, you're getting preferred parking, you're getting free food, you're getting free photo key downloads, and apparently they will have photographers on hand to snap your pictures. Um, it is a 7-hour tour, which is about the equivalent of a VIP tour at Universal Orlando or Disney World. Here's the difference: starts at $600 per person, not including park admission, which is required. Now, at Universal, these tours, non-private VIP tour starts at about $250, but you can hardly ever find it for that price. More typically, they're between $300 and $400, and at Christmas time, it goes up to 500 something dollars. You're not going to now, these prices we're talking about for SeaWorld are the starting prices. Don't really know yet exactly what the peak prices are going to be. But a big difference is that all of the animal encounters, which are normally upcharges if you're a SeaWorld guest, are included with this. So you'll get to meet dolphins, you'll get to meet penguins, sea lions, and get a photo op with a killer whale. You're also going to get a lunch at a quick service location and dinner at Shark's Underwater Grill, plus unlimited non-alcoholic drinks. For comparison, at Universal, you would get a buffet breakfast, and if you were doing a group tour, you would get a quick service lunch and no dinner. If you were doing a private VIP tour, you would get table service lunch and dinner. The difference is, if you are going to do a private tour at Universal, which is closer to the equivalent of what they're talking about here, then you are talking about at least $1,000 a person. And if you are talking about a tour at Disney, and keep in mind, these tours are genuine, skip the line at all the rides. At Disney, your guide is going to be able to get you into any lightning lane without trouble. But it is not true skip the line, because you will be behind other people with lightning lane. And at Disney, those prices are closer to $700 per hour, not $600 per person. So that's on a whole different level of price. And actually, SeaWorld Orlando at $600 per person is the most expensive of these. At San Diego, that starts at $500 per person. It is only a 6-hour tour because it is a smaller park, but you will get to meet a dolphin, plus your choice of either a sea lion, a penguin, a beluga whale, or a walrus. And you'll also get lunch and unlimited non-alcoholic drinks. In San Antonio, that's a really good deal. 8-hour for only $400 per person, and that includes a dolphin plus your choice of a sea lion, penguin, beluga, or walrus, plus lunch at a quick service location, plus dinner at Shark's Underwater Grill, plus drinks. So if you are in the San Antonio area, that looks like to be your best value. And if you the prices, it looks like the same for adults and children over 3 years old. Children 3 and under are free, but you still need to make a reservation for everyone in your group. And if you are already a SeaWorld Pass member, there is a 10% savings. But you need a minimum of 2 people to do this. So check out details at SeaWorld.com for each of the individual parks. Links are on our website at Attractions Magazine, as well as information on other kind of VIP experiences that you can find and new attractions at the SeaWorld parks for this summer. Hopping to the opposite side of the world, there is going to be a new Halloween Pokemon show coming to Universal Studios Japan, and we over here are jealous. For a limited time only, there is going to be a Halloween Pokemon show at USJ. It's going to feature the first ever Pokemon DJs. The concept art shows a stage with Pikachu wearing headphones, leaping off the stage towards the audience. Pokemon made its first in-park appearance at USJ this spring in the No Limit Parade, which is still happening. And now they are going to have Japan's first daytime show of its kind featuring DJ Pikachu and DJ Gengar. They are going to be wearing park exclusive costumes. And it is going to be a party venue where you are immersed in the world of Pokemon, where you can dance to lively music and flashy visuals. There's also a lot more Halloween coming because USJ is expanding their Halloween programming. We've covered that previously on the website. A lot of rumors around Pokemon in USJ. There's been, we know that the Spider-Man ride that is in USJ, that is a copy of the ones in Islands of Adventure, is closing. And there has been rumors of that turning that into a Pokemon attraction, maybe Pokemon Snap. And of course, there had been rumors over the years of something Pokemon coming to the United States. Pokemon is a partner of Nintendo, but is not entirely owned by Nintendo. So the rights situation with Super Nintendo World and Pokemon is not necessarily exactly the same. But keep an eye on Pokemon in USJ, and I think maybe in Orlando in the upcoming years. If you want to learn more about visiting USJ, visit usj.co.jp. Finally, we are wrapping up the news in the queue with another bit of Halloween news. This one happening at Mall of America in Bloomington, Minnesota, where they are partnering with American Monsters to create what they are calling an elevated, immersive, haunted attraction, Onion Head's Revenge, a new breed of haunted house. This indoor event is going to feature dozens of scare actors, monstrous creatures, an original soundtrack, and evocative haunted house sets for what they call a never before experienced realm of horror. So they've come up with this story titled Onion Head's Revenge. It is a local legend or tall tale about a young Louisiana man who's brutally murdered after being wrongly accused of murder, and his remains were scattered around a cemetery. But the man's mother cursed the townspeople, and now Onion Head is back for revenge. Sounds an awful lot like the plot to Pumpkinhead. So in order to experience this, you're going to start out by having a shot of liquid courage, And then you are going to step inside a world of creepy Louisiana bayous and graveyards, come face to face with supernatural terrors, and face down a creature who is out for revenge. Um, the visitors can also expect to find Halloween themed bars with specialty food and drinks. More details are going to be released soon, and they are going to start selling pre sale tickets uh, August 1st. The event itself will run from September 15th through October 31st, and it's going to happen on level 2 south inside the Mall of America. If you want more information and sign up, get yourself ready for the pre sale, visit AmericanMonsters.com. All right, that brings us to the end of our news in the queue. Before we talk about this week's main attraction, it is time to hear a little word from our sponsor.
The Attractions Podcast is brought to you by MEI and MEI-Travel. Whether your next vacation is a magical trip to the theme parks, an exciting adventure to the pyramids of Egypt, or just a relaxing cruise on the turquoise waters of the Bahamas, MEI-Travel provides premium service and expert advice to help you get the most of your vacation. They are always free of any hidden fees or costs to you. Visit them at mei-travel.com.
It's time for the main attraction!
All right, for this week's main attraction, Hong Kong Disneyland has revealed a ton of new details about their upcoming World of Frozen, which is just a few months away, opening in November of 2023. We've seen construction going on for this for a while, but now we've got some new concept art showing us what the interior of the rides, the dining, and the character experiences are going to look like. And the very first thing we're going to talk about in this, which is the first complete land dedicated to the film Frozen, which came out 10 years ago, if you can believe it. The first thing we are going to talk about is the setting. This is taking place on Summer Snow Day in Arendelle. The idea is that this is the anniversary. We don't know exactly how many years, but is the anniversary of the day in Midsummer when Anna saved Elsa with a true act of true love. That was the climax of the first film. And wouldn't you know it, just like the old Pleasure Island was always celebrating New Year's Eve, it is always Summer Snow Day in Arendelle, no matter what day you visit. This you might remember the setup because it's also kind of the plot of Frozen Ever After, which is the ride in the Norway Pavilion at Epcot. And just like that ride was originally Maelstrom, and they just kind of rethemed it to save some money. Instead of redesigning the ride from scratch, they have basically recreated the ride in Hong Kong, but with some differences. The biggest difference that we are all very excited about is that they have replaced the rear projection video faces that used little projectors to do the facial expressions, the mouth and the eyes. Instead, they have fully formed, fully sculpted animatronic faces with mouths that move and eyes that blink. Now, the animatronics in the Frozen Ever After ride at Epcot, I think, have always been, shall we say, controversial. The body animation has always been great, especially the animation of Elsa's arms when she's singing Let It Go. And if you watch this comparison video that we have on our YouTube channel, showing side by side the Hong Kong Disneyland versus the Epcot versions of this ride, you'll see that they use almost identical programming for the body, the arms, but it's the faces that make all the difference. I thought rear projection faces were a pretty neat idea when they first appeared. When they were first installed, they looked pretty good. They really took the time to try to match the brightness, the color, the tone of the animated faces to the skin of the animatronic next to it. But for whatever reason, as the years have gone on, the very slight difference between them has become a bigger and bigger and bigger difference. Whether it is projectors aging and not being replaced in a timely manner, or the skin aging, or the projection surface, whatever it is, they don't look great. Some of them look okay, but a lot of them look really creepy now. Whereas, as long as an animatronic is kept in good condition, um, they can look great for years and years. Now, obviously, we wouldn't want Frozen Ever After looking like, say, the ET adventure at Universal, where you have characters like Magdoll who have eyes that twitch and mouths that don't move. But as long as they can maintain the mechanical operational quality of these animatronics, I predict these will have a much longer shelf life than the ones that we got here in Epcot, and I wish that they would replace ours with ones like they are having there. Another more subtle difference is we have this piece of concept art from the scene near the beginning of the ride, where Olaf and Sven are talking to the guests. And the lighting, the design of the scene seems very similar to what we have in Epcot. But I do notice that the ride path almost seems backwards. In Orlando, in this scene, Sven and Olaf are to the right of the guests, and they kind of make a right-hand turn around them. And based on the position of the guests' heads in the bottom right of this piece of concept art, it almost seems like the opposite ride path. So maybe they have made some small changes to the ride path. So we will just have to wait and see. There are obviously this is not the only Frozen ride clone. Hong Kong Disneyland's getting one. They are getting one in Tokyo, and they are getting one in France. And there has been rumors over the years of them getting one in Disneyland, but I've not seen any real progress on that recently. I think that would probably be part of the Disneyland Forward project that would replace part of the parking lots someday if that gets approved. Let's talk about a ride that is unique to the Frozen area at Hong Kong Disneyland, which is Wandering Oaken's Sliding Sleighs. This is a family roller coaster themed to Wandering Oaken. It's Trading Post, and you get to wander through that trading post for the queue, very similar to the queue of the Frozen Ever After ride in Epcot. Even has the same sauna door with the video effect where you can see them inside. But then instead of boarding a boat, you are going to board these adorable little two-person sleighs for a thrilling ride around the mountain. Not too thrilling. This looks about in scope, scale, very similar to Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. But here's the difference. There's very little footage, but we do have about 1 minute of footage of ride testing in Hong Kong Disneyland. And from these brief seconds, it does not appear that these cars swing back and forth. They do not have the kind of barrel roll effect that makes the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train so unique. This pretty much looks like a standard kiddie coaster mine train. Some nice sharp bank turns, and they actually mentioned the banking in the video. But I don't see a sign of that swinging effect, at least in this video. Um, and then one other attraction that is going to be in this area is the character experience, which is going to be more than your typical meet and greet. Based on the description and the concept art we have, this looks a lot more similar to Enchanted Tales with Belle than your traditional autograph session. Um, it's going to be set inside the Playhouse in the Woods, which we are being told is the playhouse that Anna and Elsa used to play in the forest when they were little girls. And you're going to get to meet Anna and Elsa, plus it looks like some sort of puppet or animatronic Olaf that you'll get to interact with. Anna and Elsa look like they're going to be wearing their Frozen 2 outfits, and it looks like there might be an appearance by Knock, the water spirit, and Bruni, the fire spirit, who are also from the second Frozen movie. Um, Once you're done with those experiences, it's time to eat and shop. The Golden Crocus Inn is going to be the main dining location. We've got seafaring paraphernalia and hunting artifacts strewn about the space. It actually looks a bit like the harbor restaurant in Liberty Square at Magic Kingdom. And there is also a Northern Delights sweet shop where you get to try some of Anna and Elsa's favorite desserts, especially chocolate. Finally, the main gift shop is going to be called Tick Tock Toys and Collectibles. Not sure exactly what they're going to sell in there. But this is just the start of frozen fractals all around in Disney parks. As I mentioned, we've got this opening in November of 2023 at Hong Kong Disneyland. Then a Frozen attractions opening over the upcoming years at Walt Disney Studios Park in Paris and at Tokyo Disney Sea. And then finally, they are developing a third Frozen film. It was announced, but we do not have an opening date for the new Frozen film. So just going to have to hold on probably a few more years off before that comes out. All right. Well, that is just going to about bring us to the end of our show. Before we wrap up, first, want to take a look back at some of the comments that we got. Um, Dragon Lover 3, thank you for stopping in to say hi. I apologize, Enwiser, that the Halloween stuff was a little too scary. And Vince Lamb checking in with an early 4th of July. Hello to everyone. Having any flashbacks to July 4th parades? Not parades, but I might actually be braving the theme parks for the first time in many years on a big holiday. I've got some friends in from out of town. We've got reservations for Epcot. So who knows? I might give it a shot tomorrow night. Wish me luck. We shall see. And if I do make it out there, I will be sure to talk about it on next week's episode. Before we go, thank you once again to our sponsors, MEI and Mouse Fan Travel. I want to remind everyone, please give us a rating and a review wherever you happen to listen to us, whether that's Spotify or Apple Podcasts. And be sure to follow us at attractionsmagazine.com and search for Attractions Magazine on your favorite social media accounts. As always, you can find me at the UG series or at the unofficial guides and on theunofficialguides.com. And until next week, we hope that you folks stay safe, try something new, but most importantly, have fun, and we will see you next time. Take care.